the young and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, fellow Genoa city gossips. Today is a beautiful day to dive into some absolute madness, and we have so much to unpack. Grab your coffee, because things are getting wild. I cannot believe they are doing this again. I am literally sitting here screaming at my screen because the writers are pulling the exact same stunt, and I am losing my mind. I'm sorry, but how many times are we going to watch someone get kidnapped, drugged, and held hostage while the rest of the town just wanders around drinking coffee at Crimson Lights? And now they are dragging Diane Jenkins Abbott through this absolute nightmare. I just finished reading the latest spoilers, and I am so fired up I can barely type straight, reacting first, because that is just where my head is at. Patty Williams is the absolute worst, and I cannot stand that she is getting away with this. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up and explain what is actually happening, because my brain is going a million miles an hour. So we all know Diane has been missing. We saw that terrifying scene on June 12th, where she woke up in a pitch black sealed room, completely stripped of her memories. She was crying, terrified, and then this creepy masked guy walks in. The show heavily implied that it was Victor Newman. Victor literally said, "I am your friend," while plotting his ultimate revenge against Jack and the Abbott family. But now we are getting these new spoilers for June 15th, and everything is being turned upside down because apparently Patty Williams has a secret ally. Can we talk about this new guy for a second? Dr. Lawrence Markham, played by Jared Burns, who is debuting on June 15th. The spoilers say Diane is going to wake up from her drug-induced coma and start wandering around this shady doctor's house. I mean, what? I thought she was in Victor's dungeon, but no, she is in some random doctor's house. And Lawrence is going to catch her wandering around, leading to this massive, tense confrontation. Diane is going to interrogate him, and she is going to figure out that he is working with Patty Williams. Yes, Patty. Am I the only one who is completely exhausted by Patty Williams and her endless obsession with Jack Abbott? I've been watching since 2015, and this is honestly the worst thing they've done with her character in years. I know some people are loving this unhinged villain era, but personally, I am so over it. Patty is currently parading around Genoa City, batting her eyelashes at Jack and acting like Diane just decided to pack her bags and abandon her husband and Kyle. As if Diane would ever do that again. Yes, Diane has a history of faking her own death and leaving town, which makes this whole setup incredibly ironic. But she has fought way too hard to get her life back, to just throw it away. And Jack, oh my God, Jack Abbott is driving me insane. He is in full panic mode, terrified that Diane has been hurt, and his gut is screaming that Patty is involved. Because, duh, Patty has always been violently obsessed with him. Remember when she poisoned Summer Newman years ago? The woman is dangerous, but Jack is just letting her manipulate him. He is letting her spin this narrative that Diane left on her own free will. I just want to shake him. Wake up, Jack. Your wife is literally being drugged and held hostage by your psychotic ex and some corrupt medical professional. Okay, back to the point. Let's talk about this doctor, Lawrence Markham. How on earth did Patty even get out of the mental health facility? She was supposed to be locked away, receiving treatment. But now the pieces are falling into place. The spoilers are hinting that Dr. Markham is the one who helped Patty prove that she was rehabilitated. He probably signed off on her release papers, claiming she was perfectly sane and ready to re-enter society. I mean, we all know Patty is not well. She might not be completely spiraling like she was in the past, but she is still highly capable of doing terrible, terrible things. So Patty manipulated this doctor, or did she? Because I am trying to figure out Lawrence's motive here. Why would a respected doctor risk his medical license, his freedom, and his life to help Patty Williams kidnap the matriarch of the Abbott family? Is he in love with her? Is he just another one of these weak men who falls for Patty's manipulative charms? Or is it blackmail? Patty is ruthless. She could easily have dug up some dark secret from Lawrence's past and is holding it over his head. Help me keep Diane drugged, or I ruin your life. That sounds exactly like something she would do. But wait, let me contradict myself for a second. What if Patty isn't the mastermind? What if Victor Newman is actually pulling the strings, and Patty and Lawrence are just his pawns? The timeline from last week clearly showed Victor in that mosque. So maybe Victor kidnapped Diane, wiped her memory, and then handed her over to Dr. Markham to act as the babysitter, and Patty is just using the situation to her advantage to get close to Jack. I don't even know anymore. My head is spinning, but the spoilers specifically say Lawrence is part of Patty's alliance. So maybe Patty went rogue. Maybe she stole Diane from Victor. That would be a twist I am actually here for. Let's visualize this upcoming scene on June 15th, because I am kind of dreading it, but also kind of excited. Diane is going to wake up. Her brain is completely fried from whatever drugs Lawrence has been pumping into her. She has total amnesia. She doesn't know she is Diane Jenkins. She doesn't know Jack. She doesn't know Kyle. She is just a blank slate wandering around a strange house. And then Lawrence walks in. I can already picture the tension. Diane might not have her memories, but she still has her fiery personality. She is going to demand answer. Who are you? Why am I here? And Lawrence is going to have to lie to her face. And the absolute tragedy of it all is that while Diane is fighting for her life and her sanity in this creepy house, Patty is back in Genoa City trying to slide into her spot in Jack's bed. It makes my skin crawl. Patty is deliberately keeping Diane drugged and hidden so that she can swoop in and play the comforting shoulder for Jack to cry on. She wants Jack to give up on Diane. She wants Jack to believe that Diane's old selfish habits kicked in and she ran away. It is psychological warfare, and it is so incredibly dark. Remember when they tried this with Sharon? When she was locked up and everyone thought she was crazy and the doctors were corrupt? Yeah, didn't work then either. It just drags the story out for months. It makes all the characters look incompetent. Why doesn't the GC police department ever do their jobs? Chance Chancellor should be tearing the city apart looking for Diane. Instead, we have to rely on Diane's amnesiac brain to somehow outsmart a medical doctor and escape. I mean, come on. The writing is just so frustrating sometimes. So, what is going to happen next? I am predicting that Diane is going to figure out Lawrence's connection to Patty pretty quickly. Even without her memories, Diane is smart. She is a survivor. She is going to notice the inconsistencies in Lawrence's story. She might even find something in the house, a file, a phone record, a prescription pad that links him directly to Patty Williams. And once she realizes she is a prisoner, she is going to fight back. I am totally here for a badass Diane escape sequence. I want her to knock Lawrence out with a lamp and steal his car. But the real explosion is going to happen when Jack finds out. When Jack finally realizes that Patty, the woman who has been sitting in his living room drinking his tea and pretending to comfort him, is the exact same woman who orchestrated his wife's kidnapping, oh, the Abbott mansion is going to burn to the ground. Jack is going to lose his mind. And Honestly, he deserves to feel that guilt for letting Patty back into his life in the first place. He should have known better. Everyone warned him. I am typing furiously right now because I just care so much about these characters. I've invested years of my life into this show. I want to see Jack and Diane happy, but the writers just refuse to let them breathe. We finally get them to a good place, and boom, amnesia, kidnapping plot. It's exhausting. But you know what? I'm going to be glued to my TV on June 15th. I kind of hate myself for it, but I have to see how Jer Burns plays this doctor. I have to see Diane confront him, and I desperately need to see Patty Williams get what is coming to her. Let's just hope Victor doesn't ruin it all by stepping in at the last second to claim the victory.